Hello everyone, Blue Star Saber here once again to do another review of Star Wars Andor, episode 11, and I just realized I've put the title as episode 12 in the headline. I'm going to need to change that. I feel like an idiot, but wait, hold on, let me see. Yeah, let's see. Oops, there we go. There we go. Episode 11, The Daughter of Ferrix. I am extremely late, as Andor's just ended like a few months ago, but I've been rewatching the series, and in many ways, it's given me a bit more clarification on certain characters and some things I missed during like reviews or when watching the episodes. But yeah, so it's been quite interesting. Not to mention, I'll be reviewing the episodes in my new sort of format rather than just doing the summary entirely for like 10 or 20 minutes and then the next one giving my thoughts. So, yeah. It'll be interesting to see how I do it here. But, yeah, it's interesting how let's see. But, anyways, I do kind of wish I'd watched the other episodes twice before reviewing them. But, anyway, but yeah, Daughter of Ferrix. After many months, I'm finally reviewing this episode. And, yeah. Following off from like the third story arc of escaping Nakia 5 prison and all that stuff. So yeah, the episode begins with Andor and Roscoe Meleshi, the guy who was a member of the part of Rogue One squadron. Let's see, in Andor, I think the main field guy amongst the regular troops. So yeah, this is sort of his backstory, if you will. Let's see, they are climbing up, rocks, trying to escape the Empire, avoiding TIE fighters and all that stuff. Let's see, so that they can, avoid detection. So it's like, I do like how these two, being desperate with trying to escape Ritzy, and you have Ritzy thinking that he's going to make it, was struggling with the clit thing. But back on Ferrix, Andor's mother, Miranda Andor, her adopted one anyway, has passed away with Andor's friend Brasso speaking with the B2 emo, who is grief over his owner's death and all that stuff, and bit in denial, if you will, from the looks of things. While Jazzy, a member of like the Daughters of Ferrix, I believe. Carrying her remains and all that stuff. Let's see. I do like how they try to reassure the grieving droid, but he seems to be a bit denial that Mavada Andor is gone. And this is arguably following up from what the episodes were implying, as she wasn't really taking her medications. So yeah, her death was close to imminent from the build-up from that. But yeah, during this you see Cena Kaz and the ISB attendant Corvo, who I think was part of the torture of Kix or Bricks. Let's see, watching as they're taking her wrapped body away and all that stuff, and the two trying to get information out of each other with Kaz lying about, Satina Kaz, I should probably call her that, because there's also another character called Kaz in Resistance, but yeah. But she's just trying to say how she just worked here, but yeah. You can clearly tell that one's trying to get information out of the other, and the other one's trying to keep a secret, but yeah. They're all taking a great interest, and they're clearly going to report back to their superiors. But yeah. But yeah, I do like the sort of like how they're trying to be civil with each other and not give away that one's a spy or the other, but yeah. But anyway, cutting back to Andor, let's see. You see, once like the Imperial crate and ships have gone, Andor and Mercia have like managed to scale the cliff, and they find this quad jumper, a very old one, next to a nearby lake, if you will. They notice a pair of fishers, two aliens. One's called I believe Frida Pamar, and the other one's called Dewey Pamar. They are unknown aliens, but actually one's an unknown alien, but the other one's apparently a Cardanian. But I don't know. It's like apparently they're brothers, but Well, one's got more like a toad-like face, if I was to describe it. While the other one, Frida Pamala, well, has the same body, has more of a humanoid face, but very large, if you will. But yeah, so I'm not sure if he's a half breed of the species, but yeah. But I don't know, the Wikipedia says they're brothers. All that stuff. But interestingly, let's see, the two characters. Well, one of them, I think, Duma Palmer, is a redesign of someone called let's see, Cycloid or something. A person that was a part of the Rogue One gang and all that stuff. But yeah, but the other one, Dewey Palmer, I think. Wait, hold on. No, wait. No, I think it's his brother. I'm getting the. Sorry, I'm getting the name. Oh yeah, Frida Palmer was apparently let's see, someone design was originally going to be used for the original Rogue One movie, but then they tried to use it for let's see, Solo Star Wars Story, but then they were also not made it, so now they finally got it here. In many ways, coming full circle. We're originally supposed to appear in Rogue One, but didn't make it, and now ends up appearing in the Rogue One prequel. So, yeah, the two decides to escape and all that stuff, and let's see, attempt to steal a ship. But as they run to it, not really thinking of a plan, due to think Malasha just gritty rushing in. They get captured by like the traps and all that stuff. So yeah, I did like the sort of like shows just how in a sort of desperation, you got one of them being reckless, the other one being caught and or being cautious, but they just run anyway and get captured by the net. So they clearly underestimated their opponents with these sticky like net things. So yeah, but anyway, so it's like just they've escaped one prison, only to apparently get caught in another one. But yeah, let's see. But anyway, but we go back to like Ferrex, where I think Captain Vanis Tigo and the Imperius ISB involves like a Dara Morero about Mavava's death and all that stuff, and how the locals want to hold a funeral, even though they'll probably deny it. But she gives them permission to allow it, so and gives them a permit to do so, so that they'll use the funeral, which in 2 days' time. Let's see, and as she plans to use the funeral to lure out Andor, so she can capture him and all that stuff. And we end up learning about the Ferrex customs, where it takes at least 2 days to perform it and all that stuff, where they cremate the deceased ashes and put them and mix them into sort of like this brick to build the strong walls of Ferrex. So yeah, I do like how let's see, Dodoria Morero is planning on using like let's see Andor's mother's death as a trap, and which should be expected, though whether or not. Now I've seen the next episode, I know how that plays out, but she seems to be a bit, let's see, confident that this plan will work. So she may have made a few errors in allowing what restrictions of troops, but I'm not going to go too much into spoilers. But yeah, I do like how we end up learning a bit of like the customs of Ferrex, where how they treat their dead. Let's see, it seems that they bury them in the ashes, mix them up in the cement, and build them with bricks so that they can be a part of the civilization later. Granted, not something that you'd probably see anyone do on this planet, but I think it's an interesting custom, very least. It's a way of, I suppose, staying connected with the community, which, let's see, Andor's mother was pretty popular with. So, yeah. Let's see, but back on, let's see, Necronia 5, you got, let's see, the two alien brothers making fun of Andor and Mershi, thinking of what they're going to do with them and all that stuff. Let's see, trade them to bounties, or I think even possibly eat them. Let's see, and talks about how the Empire's prisons were underwater, and they beg to not be taken away. They're trying to say they escaped the Empire, and even talks about how the Empire killed like their life here with the water and all that stuff. Let's see, trying to Andor and say they're trying not to blame, but lucky for them. Let's see. Despite the interest in like a bounty for them, they decided in the end just let them go, possibly teasing them, but decide that, you know what, we don't like the Empire, you don't like the Empire, we'll help you in the quest to feed them. Let's see, and they ask him where they want to go, with Andor saying they want to go to Nemus, as a depart on the quad jumper. Let's see, I do find this, to be honest, I find this a little bit convenient just to try, just because Andor and Melessi are like, oh, out of the frying pan into the fire, if you will. There was no way they were going to escape for this one, so they kind of, I do find it is kind of funny how they seem to tease them about selling them up and all that stuff, or maybe possibly eating them, from what I can tell. I might have just mistaken that from the thing. I know I just watched the episode recently, but I guess the bounty thing is probably more accurate, to be honest. But yeah. But yeah, it's like they're in a doomed situation. But let's see. But it's clear that they're in a desperate situation. But I do like how these two guys are just like, you know what, we hate the Empire for what they've done to our planet, polluting it and all that stuff, destroying our livelihoods. So we'll help you. But I do like how they tease them a bit. But even though I think like it's a bit of an inconvenient way of like getting them to get out of trouble quickly, rather than escape themselves. And well, there's no way they could escape. There's no way they could escape without them just having a change of heart, or just like, we're just messing with you. But I do like how Andor gets him to go back to where he last was, because well, he's got stuff that he needs to collect. So yeah. Anyway, we cut back to let's see, Coruscant, where Val Savar, Mon Mothma's cousin, has gone to visit Luthen Rail's at the art gallery, if you will, or antique shop, with his attendant Kayla Marco being unhappy about her coming here, trying to first pass off as like a regular transaction, but Val's not having it, but she's not having her breaking the rules of conduct about this stuff. As they have a bit of an argument, interesting, about who has done more for like Raul recently, with Val saying how she's done that previous operation. Well, she says, Kayla says she helps them every day, but once they get to business, she ends up telling them that Andor's mother has died and their funeral preparations, which Makia, realizing what this could imply, ends up telling her that she would inform Raul and all that stuff. We go on to get back to Ferrex, where apparently Kaz and the ISB attendant Corvo are observing Brasso walking with like Martha's droid and all that stuff. Corvo talking about how he has contacts over the comlink about the bigger target's whereabouts, but I'm not sure what's that implying, to be honest. I'm not sure if that's implying to Kazian, or maybe the guys there, or maybe even Axis, but I don't know, I'm a bit confused by this bit. Granted, perhaps the Wikipedia is confusing me as I'm trying to use it to reference notes just so I can remember every detail. But yeah, silly me. I should try and remember everything from just watching it a second time. But yeah, but you have a sort of touching moment with Brazo and BMO about attending the funeral service. I mean, afterwards, I think you did have them earlier saying how BMO's got an important thing to do with the funeral in the previous scene, but. Bravo saying how it's important that BMO comes and all that stuff, but yeah. But I think let's see Beamer B2 Emo wants Bravo to stay with him for the night, and which he agrees. And I kind of find this a bit touching, despite the fact that it's a droid, and most people don't really believe droids are sentient beings. It's clear that Bimo has. Ooh, I've got some comments here. Let's see, someone called Dr. Mad Studio. Greetings from Britain. Hello, I'm also from Britain. And he's going, okay. And he's going like, he loved Andor. It's been a while before season 2. I'm looking forward to it. Well, yes, same here. But let's see, at the moment, I'm just reviewing season 1. And we're probably not going to get season 2 until maybe later in the year or maybe next year. I'm not sure. I haven't really been following attentions to that detail, but yeah. but yeah. So yes. But it's like he's treating the droid like Ritzy a sentient being and is staying with him while he's breathing. So yeah, I like that. Anyway, we get back. We're back. Then we also cut back to Bix Kellyan as she's being interrogated and tortured. Let's see, at the hands of Dr. Ghost and all that stuff, with an Imperial Kazak escorting her back to her cell to interrogate her, with Attendants Corvo and Prefect Vance Tigo there, with them asking if Anto Krieger, as we'd see, the separatist rebel, that's going to be slaughtered with his 30 to 50 men. I don't know, I had 31 episode and 50 another. I must have been confused. But, yeah. But they ask her if, let's see, this is the man they introduced to Cassian Andor. Let's see, but yeah, this hologram we get a good look at him as a result. And apparently he's portrayed by let's see, Barry Gingerell, Andor graphics designer. They just decided to put him in a suit. Let's see. Ooh, someone's saying it's not often I come across a live stream hosted by a fellow Brit. Well, glad that's the case. But yeah. But yeah, you're welcome. But yeah, I stream Star Wars when I can. Let's see, I'll probably stream the batch tomorrow when I get the chance. But yeah, let's see. But anyway, but where was I? Oh yes. Let's see. Krieger, Anto Krieger. But yeah. So they just put him in a costume and just had him do the part. So yeah, that's kind of funny. But then again, given the fact this character is not going to be shown, I figured, yeah, sure, why not? Rather than just have a nameless character. But yeah, let's see. And let's see, she asks him questions, and if he doesn't, answer the questions, they'll have the doctor come again. But Bix Kalen still seems to be struggling from like let's see, the torture, unable to hide her emotions, and seems to be unable to answer anything. And I kind of like how the shows just how bad the torture has affected her and all that stuff, that she seems to be sort of broken down and all that stuff. It seems like she's unable to speak and all that stuff, but who knows. But let's see whether or not she's giving signs of whether or not this is the person that she introduced Andor to. But yeah, now granted, it's probably, but granted, if they were able to tell she's lying, she's in trouble. But if she gets away from it, she might be able to get Ral off the hook by hiring this guy on, since he's going to die soon. But yeah, other than that, I do kind of like the back and forth between Val and let's see, Kayla earlier. Let's see, Val not in the mood for like the protocol things and just wants to give the information, while let's see, Markia just wanting to follow suit and then argue about who's done more. But yeah, I do like how they're at least being respectful once like the information Andor's mother's done. But yeah. Ooh, my friend. Okay, that's kind of cool. So yeah. Well, that's kind of cool. Good luck to that, fellas. Let's see, cosplaying, but yeah, let's see. Anyway, cutting back to let's see, we are going back to Coruscant, where we're at Mon Mothma. We're back with Mon Mothma at apparently the Chilean embassy, where Mon Mothma is joined by her cousin as they're watching her daughter Lida participating in a sort of courtship ritual that involves chanting a vow. It's very kind of cult-like with the way it goes. And there's other girls there dressed in all this blue, like, get up, and apparently there's an elder there. And let's see, and you can see that Mon Mothma and Sava don't approve of it, and Sava in particular seems like seems to be horrified about it, given the fact that she thinks these old traditions are kind of archaic, old-fashioned, not let's see, fitting for modern times, if you will, or not. Let's see, something that she wouldn't really want anyone to be fit on and all that stuff. But Mon Mothma tells her that her daughter's supportive of the customs, and she actually likes the elder and all that stuff, and she actually attends on time for these classes. So yeah. Let's see. So yeah, and she's worried that she might, hoping that Mon Mothma's not going to make her go to marriage proposals anytime soon. But oh boy, it's going to lead later to conversation. But yeah, and it's interesting then that the father is actually open-minded for the customs. He seems a bit more accepting of them. Granted, you'd think he'd be a bit more reluctant to do so, given the fact he doesn't seem to be in a happy marriage with Mon Mothma, given the customs. But I guess he's more traditionalist himself. But yeah. But anyway, later during the night, Mon Mothma ends up telling Safa about her plans to channel funds to Luthen, with like doing multiple accounts and all that stuff. And that her friend Tay Como warned her a few months earlier that the Empire would be scrutinizing the accounts. And Mon Mothma like explained just how much of a financial trouble she's in, and that there is one empty ledger that could probably screw her off and all that stuff, since it's off balance and all that stuff. And she was trying to be obscure, but let's see. So she needed help from Luthen Rail and all that stuff. With interesting see Val asking Mon Mothma if she trusts her old friend, but she doesn't really give an answer, but explains how that mission to like Aldani, which Val was a part of, which might have ended up not realizing that she might have just screwed her cousin in a sense. But since the funds are frozen, well, actually, she answers that Tay Como, help her with the funds, but he only just showed her that he was in deeper trouble than she realized, and reveals it's the 40,000 credits and all that stuff. So yeah. And if she's not careful, the Imperial authorities will be investigating us soon. And that Raoul's unaware of the situation, and who knows, let's see whether or not he'll be able to help her is not clear. But yeah. Let's see. The two agreeing that the financial situation cannot be exposed, but Mon Mothma has told her that there's a solution, but given what Val mentioned earlier about marriage proposals, she's not going to like it. But yeah. But let's see, that's where the conversation ends, as Lida has finished her session and goes to greet her, and Val, if you will, about the courtship ritual and all that stuff. Let's see, and the two embrace and all that stuff, but Mon Mothma looks on worried and realizing what she has to do. Ooh, see. Okay, what do we got here? Ooh, not what you're expecting. Okay. Yeah, so that's probably a bit spoilers, but yeah, for episode 12, but yeah. Okay, well, enjoy your folks, and thanks for the comments. Nice to know that someone there was commenting. But anyway, it's interesting the fact that let's see this whole scenario with Mon Mothma and Val and all that stuff. Mon Mothma's horrified at the idea of her daughter going for the traditions and the arranged marriages and that stuff. But from what we've seen here, her daughter is actually probably actually likes the customs and supports them. So it implies that she'd probably be okay with some sort of arranged marriage. Let's see. But it's interesting because her and the mum of her cousin against it probably got what they had to deal with when they were young, and thinks they're probably old fashioned and not, let's see, what people should be doing in these modern times. But yeah, but it's interesting because it seems to me it's kind of like a political, let's see, alignment divide between mother and daughter, which you might see in the modern world, if you will, between how one generation's parents are like conservative, liberal, left, right, etc., while the other generation, like the younger generation, is in opposition to them, either due to some disagreements or just because let's see, with the parents, they don't like the parents, or just because the lifestyle or their current situation has forced them that way. In many ways, you could say it's kind of like how, let's see, though granted, instead of like you could say like in the US and UK, you have boomers being conservative or right wing, if you will, or you have millennials and Gen Zers being let's see, progressive or left or liberal, if you will. But here it's a kind of reverse. You have probably Mon Mothma being the more liberal progressive, or just liberal. I'm not sure. And actually, I'm not sure where Mon Mothma is in the political alignment. Probably left of centre, if I had to guess. And while her daughter's probably going more traditional of a, let's see, Chaldean traditionalist / conservative, if I had to guess. But yeah, so yeah, it's kind of interesting to see that sort of, let's say, tradition. So yeah, in that bit, so it's kind of interesting having that kind of drama, if you will. Let's see, in that clash of like customs and all that stuff. But dudes, this might be the downside of Mon Mothma spending too much time forming a rebellion and neglecting her daughter, if you will. Her daughter's just gone against, let's see, probably her Martha's wishes and joined the custom, because that customs she's against. But now, whether or not Mon Mothma, now whether or not what happens to his daughter later after this season, I don't know. We do know that the second season will be in just before Rogue One. So whether or not we'll see her daughter again after this, I'm not sure. But it'll be interesting to see whether or not she'll eventually come down to her mother's side and join the rebellion, or would she be more in favor of the Empire? But yeah, it'll be interesting the fact that Mon Mothma sacrificing her daughter for the rebellion. The customs she doesn't agree with, but her daughter just seems to like them anyway. But her daughter might end up being a supporter of the Empire and her rebellion. That's just interesting to guess, but we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, but I do like how she ends up telling Val everything that's been going on with her financially. Let's see, Val being suspicious of her friend, but Mon Mothma reassuring her. But let's see, admitting that she's in too much trouble right now, and she needs to find a solution. And let's see, she has one, but it's not one that Val's probably going to approve. But I do like, let's see, how Val is just still friendly with her, like, let's see, cousin's daughter, if you will. But Mon Mothma just seems to be completely troubled with the whole situation and what she's going to do about it. So yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting. But anyway, we cut back to let's see, elsewhere in Coruscant, where we see Cyril Khan getting a call, being notified by his mother that he's got a call from none other than his former Pollux morning colleague, Sergeant Linus Musk, who ended up working still on the planet, but I think in the sort of scrap yards or some sort of construction work, if you will, with her mother, with like Khan telling his mother to dismiss her, but she's listening in the background. Let's see, and he ends up informing Cyril that after a few waiting for the noise to calm down a bit, that Andor's mother's passed away, and with them concluding that Andor will show up at the funeral. But can't get enough information, but the transmission terminates. So it looks like Cyril now has motivation to go back to Ferrix to try and apprehend Andor, but her mother makes a snidey remark about her son's former triumph being vanquished. I'm not sure she's referring to like the promotion is gone, or just realizing that her son's just about to possibly risk Ritzy just going back to like Ferrix and just tossing aside the job she worked so hard to try and get him after his failure, but he's still hung up on the past. So yeah, I kind of like how Ciro and Saga Miller. Linus Mosk are still sort of buddies after the whole situation, and they're still being in contact and dealing with Andor. But yeah, but this shows you that Cyril Khan is not going to let this Andor thing go, even though he might have a decent future with like the job he has now, and the mother's just like annoyed that he's tossing it away. But even though he probably could do some leave of absence, I'm not sure. But he's still just hung up on like this whole Andor situation that he's probably going to screw himself over in the long term, if you will. So yeah. But yeah, I like that. But anyway, but we go to like on Nemus where we're back on where Andor is retrieving his case from Nimax's manifesto, which nearly causes the couple to an alien couple that's now taken over his house. To wake up, but he manages to retrieve it. So yeah, I do like how the manifesto, Andor still kept the manifesto despite not really believing the cause, but it's clear that it's going to play a part in Andor's character journey later on. But it's interesting to find that his secret stash has been safe up in the shower. I'm curious what happened to his sort of like girlfriend there. She probably thinks that Andor dumped him or learned he was in prison inside that. I'm not going to wait for him, but yeah. But I do like how he was able to get everything that he owned. At least everything you need, like the credits and all that stuff. But yeah. But anyway, we're going to like cut to like Sierra Miller, where Luthen Rael has gone back to Saw Gerrera and his partisan, though getting taken there by what he describes as two tubes, but also known as Benfic, that sort of like alien mask dude that part of the group. That was also in Solo, but yeah. Before he joined the partisans. Let's see where it's revealed that Saw Gerrera has finally decided that he's okay, you know what? He's gonna help Krieger's group with like the raid on the syphilis, but on his own terms. He wants the full payment when he promised, and he gets to decide how to do the bombing, and he gets to take what he wants from the raids and all that stuff. But Rael ends up telling him that he's too late and all that stuff, and that there's a change of plans since the ISB knows Krieger's plans, and tells him that he's not going to join the raid. Greer gets suspicious, ask him how he knows about it and what is his sources, but he refuses. But and Greer ends up realizing that Krieger is unaware of the trap, and asks why won't he tell? Why Rael won't tell him and all that stuff, or why he won't tell him. But and this seems to, funny enough, end up angering Greer a bit, or just shocked about the fact that Rael is wanting to sacrifice Krieger for rebellion. And at this point, Gerrera, when he decides to ask Rael, is he an ISB agent or is he protecting someone inside? With Rael trying to, of course, avoid this discussion, trying to say, "Oh, I'm just a good listener," if you will. But But Ral does admit that he's willing to sacrifice Krilla for the good of the future long-term rebellion. Well, this angers Grera, asking whether or not he can actually trust Ral, because what would he do if it was him and all that stuff? And let's see, why is he being spared? With Ral explaining that you know too. Let's see, you're quite you're more contact with me. While Krieger doesn't know much about me, and he had minimal contact. That's more through his contacts rather than his own, if you will. But yeah. At this point, hold on a second. But yeah, Ral ends up telling let's see, but the reason why he's gone back to Grera is that he's telling him that it's his choice whether not to inform Grera, Krieger about the impending doom for him. But that means he'll be throwing away his source. He's spent years cultivating to do this, but with this point, realize that Sora decides that Krieger Ral must have people everywhere in the ISB, and you're wondering if it's in his own group of the partisans. Let's see, Ral trying to calm down Grera, of course, but he demands to know who his spy is, and Ral, probably lying, claims that Benfict is the spy, which he protests to, and he ends up getting straight towards Ral, but let's see, and Guerrero to say he's lying. I'm not. I'm only loyal to you, Guerrero, and all that stuff. But at this point, Ral points the blaster to Guerrero, if you will, and let's see, there's a bit of a stalemate here. But of course, Guerrero does warn Ral what happens if he shoots him. There's no way he's going to get out here alive, and just demands to know what Ral's trying to play. But eventually, at this point, Ral says that the reason he's doing this is that by sacrificing Krieger, he can have the ISB misled, and they might think that after this they're invincible and all that stuff, and they underestimate, their own skills and all that stuff, while his spy remains intact. And this will give the other rebels a more clear playing field. And says to Krieger that if he warns Krieger, the ISB will become a lot more cautious and vigilant. And be in check for spies within their ranks, if you will. And ends up telling him that if he's working for the ISB, he would sort of allow Guerrero to walk in the trap. Guerrero, just realizing the situation and all that stuff, maybe even reluctantly, agrees to sacrifice Krieger and all that stuff. Going for the greater good, but Ral trying to say, think of it what you want, but he calls it war, and that ends that scene there. But yeah, I do like how this bit here, you have Guerrero just after a while, seemingly calming down, decides that, you know what, he'll agree to the terms, and he's going to help on the mission, but Ral's here because realizing that Krieger's compromised, decides to tell him that, tries to get Guerrero to back off and all that stuff. At this point, you see, Guerrero getting suspicious and eventually realizing that Ral is going to sacrifice him. And I kind of like how, despite Guerrero's differences with Krieger, he's horrified that someone would sacrifice another rebel cell and all that stuff just because of the change of plans and all that stuff. But I do like how you see Guerrero's paranoia comes in when Ral reveals that, or at least when he realizes that Ral has a sort of spy with him, the ISB and all that stuff. And when he sort of hints towards it, and he gets a bit paranoid by, of course, the fact that he might have a spy there. And Ral just being casually like, oh, your spy's there, but it's probably not him. But yeah. But it's like two morally grey characters here trying to one up each other here. But Guerrero's starting to be less trusting of Rao before Rao tries to explain the long-term plans of this sacrifice. Of that saying that by sacrificing Krieger, they can keep their spy in there. With the ISB thinking that they have nothing to worry about, but by by this small victory of killing 30 to 50 men, they long-term damaging themselves by not realizing they have a spy there. But if Guerrero does inform Krieger about the situation, well, they'll be a lot more cautious. But yeah, but then we see perhaps more of Guerrero's more ruthless side here, realizing that for the greater good and or as you call it, war. Sacrificing Krieger is a more of a long-term play and all that stuff. Agrees to it, even if maybe a bit reluctantly, but the way he says it seems to kind of disturb Ral a bit, and I kind of like that. But it goes to show you that Guerrero, but it kind of fits in with Guerrero that he's willing to do anything to crush the Empire. As we've seen in previous media, that he's willing to harm civilians if it comes to it. Would you argue with my muff merit? So yeah. But it is interesting. Now I was curious because and this bit is resolved and this is the last we see of Guerrero for the season. But I am curious to see where this will lead to, particularly with him and Ral, particularly in season 2, because I'm assuming that Guerrero will show up for season 2 as it leads close to like Rogue One. I expect quite a few characters from Rogue One to show up in season 2. Jyn Erso, at least, with the Imperial pilot that defected, and K2SO, I believe. So yeah, I expect those characters to appear at the very least. Alcazian met the droid and got him on his side, so yeah. But anyway, as we cut back to Coruscant where Khan, waiting for his mother to leave, Ritzy unlocks a safe and has retrieved something. It's clear that his mother doesn't approve, so he's trying to sneak out as he will. Possibly the mother might try to prevent him, but he's determined to do this. But yeah. Let's see. Anyway, as Ral is leaving the planet and all that stuff, he gets updates from Makia about the sailors with Guerrero, though he ended up costing more, he will. And it seems like Ral eventually just gave Ritzy Guerrero the parts, if you will, but probably more than he probably bargained for because, well, I guess Guerrero figures, you know what, might as well get more of a bargain out of this, keep my mouth shut, then other rebels die, if you will. As you get Makia and Ritzy telling Ral in code about this particular antique and all that stuff. I do kind of like the sort of banter there where Ral says that we need to acquire this Ritzy item, otherwise we'll lose everything. And it's clearly mentioning Andor and all that stuff. But she tells him that she believes his presence will aid in their negotiations. But I think that at least what it's implying about the piece of the shop. But it could be actual antique stuff, but I think it's like regardless about this, whether or not this piece is actually Andor another collector. But they're just coming back. But she's telling him to come back. But she's probably going to inform him about the news about Andor's mother next episode. But yeah. But however, before they can continue their conversation, he terminates transmission due to an Imperial ship from the Sargo Miro Imperial Patrol, where they ask Ral's Fonda hovercraft for identification. Ral has the ship's droid transmitter as an Alderaan transport ID, and he identifies the ship as a Cantwell-class Arrester cruiser. I think from what I can tell, this ship is a new one. It's got some satellite antennas on its sides and the pointy end, if you will. let's see, at least I think it's a new ship, but well, actually, it first appeared in Solo, a Star Wars story, but more an recruitment film. So, yeah, apparently it's from, let's see, Imperial Astro. It's a personal design from something they pitched for George Lucas in a New Hope and all that stuff. So, but yeah, so it's interesting that they're using an old design and all that stuff. So yeah, interesting new ship. But yeah, I always like it when I see new ships in Star Wars. But the Imperial captain Eric ends up ordering the ship to, let's see, stand by as they use the tractor beam. And let's see, while Rawls tries to jug his way out from the, let's see, clearance code and saying that he's just wandering by. And even though he's trying to ignore the whole partisan Britzy thing here because he just met the group and all that stuff. So yeah, and there's going to do a boarding party, but Raoul's about to try and escape, getting his droid to prepare the ship for like engines, attempting to break away. Let's see, the droid ends up using the ship's countermeasures to destroy the, let's see, apparently projectiles. It just damages the main discs of the ship. Let's see, the captain Shockwares has the TIE fighters assembled and they end up fighting a bit. Cannons, let's see, standard, let's see, smuggler cruiser laser fire thing, if you will, like you got on the Millennium Falcon, if you will. But then he uses two laser cannons from the side of the ship and it spins around, destroying the remaining TIE fighters before jumping into hyperspace, if you will. So yeah, there's that. But like I said, I like the new design of the ship. I like how, in many ways, this sort of conversation kind of reminds me of the one with Mando has with two New Republic starfighters, but he just tries to fly it, and they just chase after him. Well, here they got a tractor beam, but I do like how the captain is remaining completely suspicious of Raul, but Raul, trying his best to escape, ends up going away. But I do like it seems like his ship seems to have been upgraded as the captain's surprised by its technology. Projectiles destroying its satellite, the laser cannons destroying the TIE fighters. So, yeah, I think that's pretty good. But let's see. So anyway, so yeah, I do like that. But anyway, we get to the final scene of the episode on back on Earth, where see Andor's contacting like Zarwan, one of the guy who was trying to get paid to get a transport out of, let's see, Ferrex at the time. Just telling him in coded message not to like name him and all that stuff. Just telling him that let's see, ask him to let his mother know he's okay. But and he's very cautious about having his name be mentioned. I do like how there's sort of like these phone conversations that in case they're being rigged, bugged, and all that stuff. But yeah. But anyway, but Zarwan ends up telling Andor that his mother has passed away and all that stuff. And you can see Andor is devastated by the news and is silent from like transmitter on the planet and all that stuff. And he hangs up and goes back to Militia, but lies to him that everything's okay when he asks him if it's all right, clearly grieving. But who knows? Perhaps he'll tell him later when they meet again, since he will be joining the rebellion and all that stuff. Militia comments about how he wonders how many of them actually made it out alive of that prison, but it's determined to have their story told. And so suggests to Andor that they split up to improve their chances of survival, and probably spread the message where they can. With Andor passes Militia blaster that he had amongst like his case and all that stuff. Then ends up shaking hands and patting them on the shoulders as they farewell. As Andor watches the ocean waves and the sun setting in sadness over the news of his mother's death. But yeah, I do like how Andor's just trying to be cautious with the phone calls to Sandor in case the Imperials are tracing it. Sort of like what you probably do in real life. Let's see. So yeah, be careful what you say on your phone calls, people. You never know who's listening in. At least I hope. Well, at least I hope that's not the case. But who knows? You never know. Might be for more authoritarian regimes, but you never know, really. But I'm just being paranoid here. But yeah, I do like how he gets informed by the mother's death, and you can clearly tell how much of it's upset him. I don't like how, and it's the grief that he lies to like his friend. But I do like how his friend comments that, you know what, they might be the only two that actually fully escaped out of that prison alive, as we have no idea what's happened to the rest. So those characters that we knew, we probably know they might have died drowning, being captured again by the Empire, shot or something, maybe some other natural disaster. Maybe some of them got away, but at the very least, these two have survived, and he realizes they need to spread the message. And this is clearly the guy's origins and eventually finding the rebellion. But I do like how Andor has become friends with him, that he gives him a blaster to double his chances of surviving when they agree to split up. So yeah, I like that. So it'll be interesting to see the two again in the second season, because he's probably going to appear in that season because, well, he's a member of the Rogue One. He will be one of the later added soldiers in the Rogue One thing. Let's see, Rogue One squad when they go to Scarif. So there's that. But I do like how Andor's just grieving over his mother's death and just looking in the sunset and all that stuff. And you can tell that he's clearly going to go back there. So yeah, and that's the end of the episode and all that stuff. So yeah, overall thoughts. I quite a lot to dig in. Let's see. I do kind of like how let's see, Andor and Militia's friendship. They're trying to escape. Granted, it was a bit convenient when they got captured again and then uncaptured, but yeah, I did like the sort of twist. Like, okay, you know what, we'll help you guys, but there's like that. I do like how they agree to separate on terms and all that stuff. They're being friends, and Andor's slowly becoming a bit more open to the idea of rebelling, if you will. But I do like how his reaction to the death of his mother. Let's see his friend treating like Mavada's droid well and all that stuff. Let's see how Cyril Khan and others who have been informed of Andor's death are all determined to wait for him in Ferrex, particularly like the ISB agent, setting a trap, Cyril trying to redeem himself, and Ral's network trying to assassinate Andor when he shows up. So you got that. But I also like how you got Mon Mothma telling Val about how deep in the situation is, and learning how her daughter actually likes the customs, so might be up for the marriage, despite Mon Mothma being against the arranged marriage from the last episode that was implied. And Ral having the discussion with Guerrera about what rebel cell he's going to sacrifice, convincing him this is for the greater good, if you will, and him just escaping from an Imperial ship and all that stuff. Overall, I think I'll give it a 8 to 9 out of 10. Very good episode. It sets up for the final of everyone heading back to Ferrex to Andor's mother's funeral, waiting for Andor, seeing whether or not he'll show up or not, which clearly he's going to from the way he's grieving. So, yeah. Otherwise, we wouldn't have a final episode. But, yeah. Anyway, that's all I had to say on Andor. It took longer than I had hoped, but I enjoyed what I had to say, and I hope everyone who listened, particularly like the Dr. Mad Studio, liked what I had to say. Either way, let's see. Overall, I am Blue Star Saber, signing off. I'll see you next time when I review episode 12, when I get the time to watch it. May the Force be with you. Goodbye for now.